Greetings and welcome to Creating Whimsical Masterpieces at Home with John Donato, brought to you by Freeman Stage. Today we are building the Octopus phone holder. Before we get started, let's go over the materials you will need for this project. Collect the following: lots of stiff cardboard, a hot glue gun with glue sticks, so yes parents, please help your child with the hot glue gun, a sharp pair of scissors, some markers and pencils, some paints, paintbrushes, some water to clean them, and a rag to dry the brushes. So let's get in the studio and get started. First, we are going to build the base that will hold the octopus, that will hold your cell phone. So taking this firm piece of cardboard, draw an elongated hole around 8 inches. Cut that out. Then grab a toilet paper roll. We're going to cut that on an angle. That's going to be the stem that's going to hold it up. In step 2, we are going to create the octopus's head and body. Using another piece of cardboard, we are going to draw a light bulb shaped head and cut that out. Make it about 9 inches tall. In step 3, we are going to create the eyes for the octopus, big googly ones. So we're going to take another piece of cardboard, smaller this time, and you're going to do maybe a 1 to 2 inch circle. Make 2 of them and cut those out. We will paint them later. In step 4, we're going to create a hat for the octopus using 2 pieces of cardboard that you will cut out. The first will be the top of the hat, which will be a larger, rounder shape, and it'll have a flat bottom. So go ahead and draw that in. The second will be the brim of the hat, which will be wider and thinner. Draw those and cut those out. Put them aside because we'll paint them later. In step 5, we are going to be creating the tentacles for the octopus. There will be 8 altogether, and the first 2 are going to be very important because they need to be identical. So we're going to create the shape of a tentacle like this, around 6-8 inches long. But it's important that it has that first dip right off the body because that's going to be the portion that's going to cradle the phone. So draw one of those and cut that out. And then using that first piece, put it on another piece of firm cardboard and use that as a pattern to cut the second tentacle. So take time to sketch that out, use the tentacle as a stencil, and then cut out that one. So you will have 2 by the time you are finished, and you can put them together just to make sure that they are consistent. This is going to be very important because these are going to hold the phone level. Put those aside because we'll paint them later. Next, we are going to create 6 more tentacles, and these do not have to be identical. These can be different shapes. So create 6 of those and cut those out, and then we'll paint those later. In step 6, we're going to create a couple little pieces of coral or seaweed, if you like to decorate around your octopus. So I'm going to take a small piece of cardboard, and I'm going to draw a piece of coral, and then maybe a 3-pronged piece of seaweed, and I'm going to cut those out. And again, we'll paint those later. Step 7, we're going to create some hair that's going to stick out from under the hat to give them a whimsical look. So I'm going to create 2 shaggy little portions of hair. I'm going to draw those out and cut those out of a small piece of cardboard. Using my scissors, I'm going to carefully fray the cardboard vertically. Once that is complete, we will move on to step 8. This is my favorite part of the project, painting all the parts of the octopus. So we're going to start with the base that the octopus will be sitting on. And I'm going to start with some sand colors, some orange, some yellows, some tans. And I'm just going to speckle that in with a brush, and then we're going to texture it with some Q-tips. I'm going to take a bunch of Q-tips, about 5 or 6 of them, and I'm going to wrap them together with a rubber band at one end. This is going to create sort of a paintbrush that's made of Q-tips, and we're going to dip those in paint, and we're going to add dots on the sandy part of the base. And go ahead and experiment with this. Use lots of different colors. Try blending them. You can always wipe them on the table or the palette where I have the cardboard, but test it out. This is just going to look like the bottom of the ocean. While that is drying, we're going to get started on the body or the head. So I'm going to start with blue. I really like blue. And I'm going to put some highlights and some shadows using white and darker blue. While the head is drying, I'm going to get started on the tentacles. And I'm going to use dark green with light green tips on all 8. So you're going to want to paint all 8 on both sides, whatever colors you like. To finish the tentacles, we are going to add the little suction cups that would be on an octopus's tentacles. So using yellow, I'm going to take a smaller brush and create all dots on both sides of each tentacle. So take your time, and you can do different colors if you like, and any color you want. I'm going to use yellow because it contrasts well against the dark green, but purple and pink and orange would work well too. While the tentacles are drying, I'm going to go ahead and create the eyes by painting them white with large black circles for the pupils in the middle. And once I have those circles in the middle and they're dry, I'm going to actually add a white dot to each pupil. It makes it look like the reflection. Make them big enough so you can see it. Putting the eyes aside to dry, I'm going to move on to the bolo hat. I'm going to take those 2 pieces out, and I'm going to actually make this a brightly colored hat with a nice orange and red brim, and then I'm going to do a multicolored stripe top. So I'm just going to add a bunch of different colors in there. Have fun with it. Make a hat that's fun. Nice hat. So while that's drying, I'm going to paint the seaweed and the coral. I'm going to use reds and purples and pinks with some green stripes. And then eventually I might even use the Q-tips to put some speckles in. So here I am applying the paint to both sides. I'm going to really test out my colors and see what I like. Add some white on the tips, some pink, maybe a little green stripes. And then I'll take the Q-tips and add a few little speckles. And after the Q-tips, I think I'll add some stripes. And while the corals are drying, I'm going to take my hair and I'm going to paint that black. So I'm going to take black paint and put it on both sides. You may see this from the other side too. And then put that aside to dry. Once everything is dry, we move on to step 9, assembling the octopus phone holder. We're going to start with the base and the tube that's going to hold up the octopus. So using the hot glue gun, and again, be careful, we're going to take the angled part of the toilet paper roll tube that we cut, and we're going to put a bead of hot glue on it, and we're going to put it about 3/4 of a way from the back to the front, leaning backward. This is going to be the little angle we're going to need to put the head on so that the phone will lean backwards. Next, we're going to glue the head and the body onto the tube. So I'm going to take some hot glue, I'm going to run it up and down, make sure I use enough, up and down the front of the tube, and then I'm going to fix the head right onto that tube. Once that is dry and secure and cool, we're going to start adding the tentacles. I'm going to start with the 2 identical tentacles that are going to sit in the front. And we are going to add hot glue to the very edge of those and fix them to the tube and to the body, like so. So grabbing the first, I'm going to grab my hot glue gun. I'm going to put a nice bead of hot glue there, put a little at the bottom, and then I'm going to actually fix that to the tube and to the bottom of the octopus's body, and maybe a little hot glue on the base as well. I'm going to really want these 2 to be secure. These are the 2 that are going to hold the phone level. Be sure to hold those in place so they're nice and sturdy and they are fixed perfectly. Just going to take some time to add a little extra glue, make sure it's secure, do a little quick inspection to make sure everything is positioned well, look at the front and the back to see that everything is secure and looks good. The angle's great. This way the phone will lean on the front right there. And now we're going to add the other tentacles all the way around the body. So using the glue, we're going to put those on the edge and on the bottom the same way we did the front, but we're going to move those to the side and the back so they don't interfere with the phone. Always be careful with a hot glue gun and take your time. Parents, this would be a good time to help your children. If they're not used to a hot glue gun, it would be wise to assist them on this part of the project. Once I put all the tentacles in place, I always like to go around and add a little extra glue just to make sure everything stays secure. Now I'm going to add the coral and the seaweed, and I'm just going to place them somewhere behind the area that's going to hold the phone, somewhere in the back, just to add a little creative touch to the sea base. Now that all the hot glue has cooled and everything is secure, we're going to start putting the face together. So I'm going to start with the eyes. I'm going to take the two eyes and put them towards the top of the head. This way they'll peek out from behind the phone. So a little hot glue on the back, and I can put both of them on, and they'll cool quickly and stay secure. After that, we're going to move towards the hat. So I'm going to start with the brim, and I'm going to put glue on the bottom of the brim and fix it to the front of the head. And then I'm going to put glue on the front of the bolo part of the hat, and I'm going to fix that from behind to the brim. Keep that secure, let it cool, and everything's in place. Next, we're going to add the hair. So I'm going to put that just below the brim of the hat on the back of the head facing forward. I'm going to put one on each side tilting downward. Looking pretty good so far. Now to give them some character, I'm going to add a nose and a mouth. So I'm taking a marker. I'm actually going to draw an orange nose, just a nice big circle. And then I'm going to take a black marker and I'm going to do a smile right under that nose. A simple black line and some little grin marks on the end. Make him look like he's grinning. Now with all the hot glue cool and the paint dry and the face on the octopus, we can take a look at our octopus cell phone holder. He's pretty fun. And he holds a phone too. Both ways. That is a helpful and whimsical octopus. And as an added bonus, if you turn the octopus around, you could store your pens and pencils in the back. Thank you for joining me. And thank you, Freeman Stage, for partnering on another Creating Whimsical Masterpieces at Home with John Donato. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe and share with your friends so we can bring more whimsical masterpieces to you. Again, this is John Donato. Stay creative and have a wonderful day.